Okay, it is May 15th. It's Wednesday, and I just took one trade today, and I think I'm going to be done for the day. I think that's good enough for me. I have traded through my favorite time frame, which is the 10:20 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. time frame. I actually took the trade at 10:30. But let me show you what I was looking at before I took that trade. A couple of trades I looked at, thought about taking, actually did not take. They happened pretty quickly, and I kind of missed out on. Plus, I'm kind of these days more dedicated to waiting till 10:20 because I feel like that's when the really nice moves tend to happen. So let me just show you the day. So anyway, I'm going to switch between a 3 minute, a 5 minute, and a 15 minute to show you everything. Okay. So at 8:30 this morning, we had some economic news. It was the core CPI, core CPI month over month, and CPI year over year. Let's see. So and retail sales. So everything was flat except for month over month. CPI, Consumer Price Index, month over month was better than the forecast, and it was better than last month. So that created the impetus for the market to rise because the lower inflation readings kind of mean that Fed probably won't raise interest rates. It'll either keep them the same or lower them. So that kind of gave a boost to the market immediately, and that's why you see this big spike here from 413 all the way up to 545, and then finished at this is a 15-minute chart, by the way. Finished at 488, just below 18,500. So the initial move for the day was up. So how are we going to digest that move and maybe take it higher, or is it just going to roll over? Like all the enthusiasm dies out and it rolls over. So that was the real question, and there was no real answer because as soon as this first 15-minute candle finished, yeah, it did pull back a little bit and here and then go higher, but then the volume went out of the market and it went really flat until 9:30, 9:45. So I was just kind of watching this on like a 5 and a 3 and a 1. And let's look at the 3 right here, and it was in this range here. I marked this range from the a slower time frame, which showed an area of resistance up here. It was the most last time we were in this area, and so what I did is I used these candles right here. I used these candles right here to kind of indicate a zone of resistance that I expected that would occur, and so yeah, price did go up into that zone and kind of chopped around inside that zone between the news, which was at 8:30, and the New York Open, which was at 9:30, right here. So at 9:30, what happened? It was just kind of like no volume, no volatility, no nothing in this during that hour. About 9:30, price did pop up over that zone, and it probably pulled in a few weak hands. Thinking, hey, breakout time. There was a big volume there. Obviously, it's a 9:30 open, and we had some strong buying happening. But of course, it kind of didn't go anywhere, and it kind of flushed back out again. So I was trying to watch it on a 15-minute chart to get a better feeling for, what the heck was really going on here. And so what I saw here was that at 9:15, we did have a buyer's wick, but the trading ended lower than it started at 9 o'clock. So at 9:30, we had that false break to the upside, but then we sold down and we had a lower. Um, by the end of this 9:30 15-minute candle, we were down. So not only that, if you look at this, if you look at the highs and the lows, you'll see that right there and right there, you'll see that what we call an engulfing candle. So that's extremely bearish. So also look at all the volume that came in right here during this 9:30. Lots of volume, but it was bearish overall. So when this next candle at 9:45 started to drop, it started to drop real fast, and I'll show you that on a 1 minute so you can kind of get a feel for that. At 9:45 right here, price went from just above that zone at 942, 943, and then just a really strong flush down to the other side of the zone down here. So, and that happened really quick, and there was a lot of volume, especially on this candle here. You can see this one had a lot of extra volume. So things happen real fast. So, and that was the end of that candle right there, that 940, that 930 to 945 candle. That was the end of it, and it ended right about there. So with the new candle, what I did is I said, okay, it's tipping its hand to me. It's showing me where it really wants to go right now. Maybe not long term, but short term, definitely. So what I did is real quick, I took a fib retrace and I started at the low and I went up to the high. And I looked for a back test of the zone that I call the reversal zone. So it's the price points in between the 61.8 and the 0.5. I'll show it to you again over here. Here it is right here. So price came back up. Let me just show you real quick here. Okay. Price came back up and tagged this area right here. This is the 50% line on a down. If you take that 15-minute candle, right, and put a Fibonacci retracement box on it, you will see this candle right here. You will see, I'm sorry, this candle right here, which again, I feel like it tipped its hand because it was a 15-minute candle, so you could kind of see it rolling over. If you look, you can kind of tell. Big, strong push up, another strong push up, green, but it's smaller, red, okay, but it's smaller, okay, that's kind of a rollover pattern. And then this one with all the volume really pushing down the engulfing wicks, okay, so that was tipping its hand. So I said, okay, if it back tests up to the 50% fib line of the 50% line of this candle, then I want to get in. So I said, okay, I'm going to get in at 18,510. It came up to 18,510 right away, like within the first minute, I'd say, and right there. And it flushed all the way down to 18,447. So it went down 60 points. That was one of the biggest, fastest moves of the entire day. And so I hope you can see how I found that. I hope that's really clear. Basically, looking at the 15-minute candles, seeing that it was rolling over. The 930 candle had a fake out and an engulfing wicks. And then I put a fib box on it and then retraced to the 50% line. That's where it should have been sold. And it flushed like 50 points down to the downside, okay? So that was trade number one. Now, keeping with the theme of using the 15-minute candles to kind of tell you what's really going on in the market, you can see that now from the point of view of a long, so you have to switch your focus back and forth between long and short. Okay, so now you're back to the point of maybe it's going long, because look at the size of that wick. So what do? You put a 50%, you put a fib retrace on the high and the low of what we've got so far. And where does the this 15 candle end? Above the 50% line. That is bullish, okay? So now, since you've got a bullish close to it, which is holding the 50% line to the upside, okay? Because we can roll these fib boxes over, right? We can make them long boxes or short boxes. So let's say we're going to take the next fib retracement and put it on this 15-minute candle, okay? And let's see what happens with this one, okay? What happens is that price ends up here at 500 even, comes back down into that reversal zone, right? Look at that. I'll put it right here so you can see it much better. Put on 1 minute here. It comes right back down. Okay. Just about into the reversal zone. Not quite into it, but almost. Almost hits the 61.8. So that one was kind of tough to grab if you were not really fast on the draw. But so I didn't grab that one. But basically what's happening here is that you got a strong push up. You've got a pull back to support, which is just above that 61.8. this whole kind of greenish area is all reversal zone. Okay, so that was a trade right there, and it headed up north. Okay, and then I missed that one, so I kept my eye on the next one. And the next one is important because this is the 10 o'clock one. The best trades happen between 10:20 and 10:50, 10:55, something like that. That's when you get the strongest, basically trend of the morning. That's what I found after watching this for years. It's 10:20 a.m. to 10:50 a.m., 10:55 a.m., something in there. That's when you're going to get the best extension on your trades. So I'm really watching now. I haven't taken any trades yet, but I'm just kind of working the system to see how well it works, right? So the next thing I'm looking at here is going to be this 10:15 to 10:30 candle because that's my favorite time. Like the 10:20, 10:30 time frame, that's really a really good time frame, okay? So now what I'm doing is I'm taking this 15-minute candle, okay, and I'm putting a Fibonacci retracement box on it, and I'm saying, okay, if it comes back down into the zone between 0.5 and 0.618, I'm interested. Okay, now I'm going to put a 3-minute candle on it. And the reason I'm going to do that is so I can see some kind of structure forming or whatever you want to call it. Now, actually, that's supposed to be lower. Why is that not looking like that? That is supposed to be lower. When I did it, it looked lower. What am I missing here? 10 o'clock candle. Oh, I didn't have the bottom lined up right. Okay. All right, there we go. All right. So, yeah, okay. So here's the deal on the 3-minute. What are we looking for? We're looking for what I call structure. And when I say structure, what I mean is it's still not looking right for some reason. I don't know why it's not looking right. When I look at it on, it was this one right here, 1027. That's the one I bought. That was supposed to be inside here. So what is not lining up? 1050. Oh, I got it on the wrong one. Okay. All right, let's do this again. Sorry about that. I had it on the wrong candle. Let's go ahead and put it here. There's a fine art to this, and obviously I'm not doing that great. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I put it on the 3-minute, okay? And so what do we see? We see the level I'm looking to trade off is that 50% to 61.8. I want it to wick down into there and show me some strength so I can buy it. So the first one, and I'm looking at this a little early, okay? I've already got it on there. It's only 10:18, and things haven't fully formed yet, but I'm looking at this, and I'm waiting for it to tap into this area. So it taps once, and it's a decent looking candle, but I want to see some structure. Okay, so it taps again with a red, and then the third time it taps that 50% line, what does it do? It puts in a very, very thin bodied candle. Okay, so I don't know if you remember this from just a few minutes ago, but when you see something rolling over, a lot of times what you'll see is candles thin out, okay, and then they roll over and they get wider again. So they're wide candles, fat candles, then they thin out as they roll over, and then they widen again as the volume comes in and you change directions, right? So you can't really see that unless you're on at least a 3 or even a 5-minute chart. That's where you're going to see that stuff, okay? So anyway, I'm looking at this going, okay, it's holding. We got buyers at the 50% line. Here's a nice thin candle. I'm all about this. I'm all about this trade. I want this. The time is right. It's 10:27. It's 10:30 in the morning. That's a perfect time to buy. So I put a uh, 15 tick stop loss on this sucker. I was in at 32, right about there, with a 15 tick stop loss at 17, right there. And I wrote it up to this 1.618 line, okay, right up here. That, and it's still going, and it's still going really nicely actually. But this is where I got out, and this is the target. And look how nice this trade is behaving right now. It's almost 40 minutes later, and it kind of had some resistance area in this area, but it looks like it will hit really close to 2.618. That's usually another strong resistance area, but it's also kind of a magnet too. So it's kind of both. So anyway, what a beautiful trade, right? I mean, that is an enormous killer trade right there. So I only got half of it, but that's okay because my goal is only to hit to the 1.6018 if I can. So anyway, that's a lot of information. I'm sorry I went on and on, didn't have my charts set up right, but I just want to point out to you that you can use 15-minute charts to give yourself a much better idea of what the hell is actually going on with the trading and which direction, okay, the next trade, the next few bars could go. But don't forget to wait for the pullback and the structural support of that pullback. So that's basically it for now. Leave any questions or comments down below.